How was it, Don?
It's pretty cool.
How was I?
You were great. No, it's cool. We've been friends for about 20 years. He's been at Disney 20 years. I've been at Disney 19. So we've known each other for quite a while. And we've worked on a few projects together, but never as directors. So, Chris was on the movie storyboarding. He storyboarded the scene that I feel like really cemented the relationship between Hero and Baymax, and it's the scene in the bedroom when Baymax inflates behind the bed. And so I felt it was a perfect choice to bring on as co-director.
Yeah, Don and I both come from a very similar background. We both storyboarded for 12 or 13 years before getting into directing, and so we've worked together on movies before, and I think we both felt it would be a really good fit. So when Don asked me to come on and support him as co-director, I was really thrilled. I'd already fallen in love with the characters, so to be invited in that way was awesome.
Well, we have a really good casting department at Disney that really helped us, find choices. We were looking for a diverse mix of people. We really love actors that can improvise because we spend a lot of time crafting scenes. We write and storyboard and we get it working, but we love it when an actor can come in and bring something special to it. And our cast was phenomenal at that. They're so good. T.J. Miller, Damon Wayans, they're all just brilliant actors and can improvise and bring, look at the material, do the material, but then spin off of it and come up with stuff on their own. And as in animation, we work so hard to make things feel spontaneous when they're not.
It takes years to make these films, and it's about a quarter of the way through the process that we'll actually cast the part. And that's a really important moment because we're always trying to get inside the characters' heads and really understand them and understand how they would react in any situation. But you don't really know them completely until you hear the voice. And so that's always a big breakthrough moment for us. And all of our cast, they were nice.
Yeah.
They're all very nice and very generous and very invested, I think, in the character. So all the recording sessions were really fun. And they had us laughing, which is always a really encouraging sign.
Yeah. It's about 3.5 years ago. So after I talked with John, that we had a very short initial conversation where I was excited by finding a Marvel story and bringing it over to animation. He got excited, and he said, go find something. So as I was finishing up Winnie the Pooh, I'd spend my lunch hours looking at this. Marvel has a website that has all their characters and their bios and all this kind of stuff. So I would just...
There's lots of them.
5,000, at least 5,000 actually. And I would spend my lunch hours just looking and say, ooh, I don't know what that is. What is that? And research it. And I came across Big Hero 6, and I had never read the comics. I just liked the title. It sounded interesting. And then I looked it up, and it said Japanese superhero team. And then I got my hands on some of the comics, and I read them, and I just, again, loved the spirit of the comics. They were very fun and entertaining, and you could tell that the creators of the comic were into a lot of the same stuff that we were into as far as anime and Japanese animation and stuff like that. So it was on the list. I pitched several, there's probably 5 or 6 ideas based on Marvel things, and Big Hero 6 was the most obscure, but it was the one that had the most potential for entertainment, but also just emotional potential.
Yeah, it was really that core emotion that we all responded to. Don pitched it to a bunch of the directors in the building and John Lasseter as well. And everyone just kept being drawn to this one, to Big Hero 6, because of that emotional potential between Hero and his older brother and this robot Baymax, who would become the surrogate older brother. We were all so drawn to that relationship. And so we were really excited when John greenlit that one. And I think in a way it served us that it was such an obscure property and that the audience was not going to be bringing their own expectations for what the movie should be or who the characters should be. I think ultimately that gave us a lot of freedom because we used the source material as a springboard, but we took it pretty far away from the original story.
Yeah.
So
it's inspired by, not adapted. If it was an adaptation, it'd be a terrible adaptation.
We failed.
Yeah, we failed at an adaptation, but inspired by, I think we got that right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just felt like because this is a future-ish city, we were always looking about 5 or 10 years in the future as far as technology goes. But we just really wanted it to represent a modern city, and every city is multicultural now. and you go around the world, whether it's London or New York or Los Angeles or Madrid, there's a lot of multicultural cities, and that's what is happening now. We wanted it to reflect what's out there right now.
Yeah, and I think that the setting of San Francisco is something that we're really proud of, and in one sense it's just kind of a cool, fun backdrop for the story, but I think also it's a visual indicator of a really important idea in the film, which is the idea of synthesis. We're bringing together lots of different things. There's always going to be this coming together of what Disney is and what Marvel is, and people's expectations for Disney and Marvel, and this idea of East and West coming together. And even genre-wise, we knew we were taking on two distinct genres. You had the superhero origin story, but also the boy and his robot story. And we needed to have those things come together into one cohesive whole. And so I think that this San Francisco, this blending of San Francisco and Tokyo, is a perfect indicator of one of the biggest things that I think define the personality of the film.